Law and crime. We're covering the Gwyneth Paltrow trial in Utah. Right now, the plaintiff's daughter is testifying on direct examination from plaintiff's counsel. Let's go back into court, see what she has to say.
And the content. Does this appear to be the email that you were talking about with the link that you described earlier in your testimony? At least a copy of it.
I believe so. I can't remember the time, but I trust that more than I do my memory 7 years ago. So.
Okay. And who's Jenny B. Sanderson?
She is my baby sister, or my youngest sister.
Okay.
She's not a baby.
She appears to be the first person that this email is addressed to, correct?
I agree.
Okay. And then we've heard from Polly.
Yes, that is my second sister.
Okay. And then we're hearing from you right now, correct?
Correct.
So those are the three people that this was sent to.
Yes.
Then going up, we've talked a lot about this, but what is that line right here that I'm pointing to say?
It says, "I'm famous. At what cost?"
Okay. And do you recall, because there's a difference here between "I am famous" here and "I am famous at what cost," who wrote that "at what cost"?
I added the "at what cost" when I sent my email back.
Sorry, don't want to cut you off, but so after you had tried to access this link, you responded to that email, is that correct?
I don't know at what point I don't know at what point I was able to access, or if I even did see what was here. It seemed like I would follow through to try to see what, because this is important information, but I don't know when that happened.
Okay. And I think you said earlier that when you tried to access this, it was a meetup group login, or it required a meetup group login?
Yes.
Okay.
And I wasn't a member of Meetup, so I was unable to access that. But I knew my dad was.
Okay. I want to talk because it's going to be brought up quite a bit. Will you go ahead and read what your note says here for the jury?
Dad, I cannot believe how unlucky and how crazy this all is. I also can't believe this is all on GoPro. What are the chances? I am so glad you're okay. How are you feeling this evening? Love, Shay.
Okay. Now, Shay, this is an important answer, but with that, after being sent that link, how did any reference to a GoPro video come up that you responded in the way that you did?
So we did this in an opposite order. My apologies. 7 years is a long time for my brain. I received a phone call, and thanks to Gwyneth Paltrow's team, they were able to put together the timeline of things. And I had forgotten that actually I got a phone call at 6:13 p.m. that evening, and then I had a conversation with my dad about what had happened. And then the email came later on in the evening. And now I can't remember the question. Do you mind asking again?
You mentioned you had a phone call with your father.
Yes.
How did that instruct or have influence on this response?
Okay. After my dad told me about what he was feeling and that he could hardly think, his brain was numb, and that he couldn't take a breath without feeling a stabbing sensation in his chest, and that he had rung his bell. I believe he mentioned that with this big resort and so many people on this green run, there had to be GoPro video.
Overruled?
Go ahead, continue.
And so he said there has to be GoPro footage. There just has to be, because there was this big blood-curdling scream before I got hit in the back, and that means that a person that had a helmet cam of this GoPro would look towards the scream and catch it all on video. And so I thought, that's brilliant. You know, then we have complete evidence of what happened and who was at fault. And so I kind of assumed that maybe this was GoPro video, and we could rest easy because we would know what happened.
But you had never, he didn't show you a GoPro video?
No, I've never seen GoPro video, and it does not exist as far as I know.
So, and now, after this email, you still have not seen any GoPro video?
I have not seen any GoPro video.
So it was, and I don't want to mischaracterize what you just told the jury, but it was based on that conversation you had with your dad that you responded in this way?
Yes. So I don't know if during the time I was talking to him, if I had my leg propped up, and whether or not I was interrupted by my 4-year-old or 8-year-old at the time. But when I hung up that phone, I thought there was GoPro video. And I thought that would be comforting for my dad to say, it's going to be okay, Dad. I know you are really hurting, but we've got it on camera. So I believed that there was GoPro video at the time, and that's why I said that.
All right. Just want to clear this before we go into that. I'm going to show
Lauren,
both of them at the same time.
I've left my water bottle next to you. Could you please grab it for me?
The reason that I've laid them on top of each other here is going to be important for the jury. So this has already been admitted, and this is, the jury saw this yesterday. This appears to be the
Okay, so more direct examination from the plaintiff's attorney for plaintiff's witness, who happens to be the plaintiff's daughter. Let's bring in my guest to talk about some of the testimony that we just saw now and the exhibit. Now, we saw the email with the redactions of the email addresses there as per the request of the witness. Catherine, I want to get your take on the contents of that email. We're talking about a GoPro video and the lack thereof, but the plaintiff needing to explain away why his daughter had emailed about a GoPro video. And we get that through the testimony of the daughter herself based on her email. What do you make of that, and why was it important that testimony, that explanation reached the ears of the jury?
That testimony was critical about the GoPro because there is that insinuation that there is a GoPro video, but it's missing. So is the plaintiff hiding it and not producing it to Paltrow's side so that we can't see what truly happened? So she had to establish that she misunderstood her dad and there is no GoPro video. That's why the jury had to hear that from her. And now the jury has to weigh her credibility if she's actually telling the truth or whether or not a video existed, but it was destroyed by someone at some time.
Right, and of course, if there was a video and somehow it was in the possession of the plaintiff, that would lead to what we call a spoliation of evidence charge that the jury may receive. It's not the case here, and we just had the explanation before that jury there. Spoliation of evidence charge would basically say that the jury can infer whatever was on that videotape would not be helpful for the plaintiff and more helpful for the defendant. But that's not the case there. I'm just giving a little inside scoop. You have the explanation here. There appears to be no GoPro video, and now the jury has that explanation for that comment in that email by the daughter. We're going to take a quick break here at Law and Crime. When we come back, more of the testimony playing out in the Gwyneth Paltrow trial in Utah, so stay tuned.
I'm Jesse Weber, and you're watching Law and Crime.
Join American Cruise Lines on an extraordinary journey along the Columbia